19th century Scotland. Change is in the air. Small farming villages are feeling the squeeze. What's a farmer to do but get with the times? People just don't want milk and grain anymore. They want processed goods. And what's all this fuss about whiskey? Lots of uncertainty lies ahead, but one thing's certain. A tough road lies ahead for the Clans of Caledonia. In Clans of Caledonia, players control unique Scottish clans competing to produce and export agricultural goods. The game starts with players staking their claims on the modular board. Throughout the game, whenever you place a unit on the map, it comes from your personal player board. You will need to pay the money equal to the unit cost displayed on your board, plus the terrain costs as printed on the map. Over the course of 5 rounds, players will take one action at a time from amongst a menu of actions. You can expand your presence on the map by placing a single unit and paying the cost as described earlier. There are 3 types of units: workers, producers, and processors. The new unit must be adjacent to another one of your units and within shipping range, which brings us to the next action you can take. Increasing your shipping range costs 4 coins and allows you to place units across rivers and locks. The higher your shipping, the more locks you can cross. Much of the game revolves around fulfilling contracts. As an action, you can take a contract from the available display. You can only have one at a time, so choose carefully. As a separate action, you can fulfill a contract by turning in the indicated goods and receiving the reward. These rewards can vary from money to victory points in the form of hops or even special import goods. Ideally, you'd like to produce all your own goods to fulfill a contract, but you can also send merchants to the market and buy goods at the indicated price. Each merchant can only purchase a single good, so you can also increase your stable of merchants as yet another separate action. The round continues until all players have passed, and then the production phase begins. Each unit on the map produces or processes resources. Aside from organizing your materials, your personal player board also smartly displays how much of each resource you're producing. It's a clean way of telling you how much milk and money you'll make and saves you the trouble of counting a bunch of bits on the map. Each round has a unique scoring criterion, which is randomized for each game. One round may award points for how much meat you have, while another gives you points for processed goods. It's a nice way to keep each game different, and it gives you a focused, round-length goal if you start to feel lost in a sea of choice. Each of these elements comes together to make a rather enjoyable game experience. You'll grow your operations and your footprint on the map will spread. The game rewards you for building next to your opponents with cheap resources so that you rub elbows with everyone on the map in a fun way. The modular board and randomized scoring tiles keep things fresh from game to game. But if that were all there were to Clans of Caledonia, it would just be another drop in the ocean of games. What gives Clans of Caledonia its spark are the clans that the players control. There are 9 clans in the game, and each has a unique ability or quality that informs the way that you play. Clan Buchanan, for example, is able to have 2 contracts at any one time. This gives you flexibility and helps offset the rising costs of contracts in the later rounds. Clan Campbell gets a discount on production units. This allows you to pump out cheese, bread, and whiskey like nobody's business. It's the exploration and exploitation of the clan's abilities that gives me the greatest joy. It's empowering. It gives you something that no one else can do. The game makes you feel special, almost like you're getting away with something. I haven't played the game enough to know whether they're all balanced or if one stands out as particularly strong, and frankly, I don't care all that much about balance in general. As long as I feel like I have a fighting chance, that's good enough for me. I've really been enjoying the exploration of the different maps and clans. There's a nice sense of progression as your units fill up the board and your production ramps up. I've always been a sucker for that type of thing. Play runs smoothly as everything is smartly laid out, and if there are any fatal flaws to be found, I haven't discovered them yet. So in the meantime, I'm happy to continue playing the game.